You might have heard of Stoicism before, but what is it exactly? Well, it was a school of philosophy founded around 300 BC by Zeno of Citium. Its goal is to get the one who practices it to get a better understanding of the nature of suffering and to navigate better throughout life. After watching this video, you will understand what it actually means. Writings of Stoic philosophers. Is it worth it? How to practice it? And tips for mindful Stoicism. Stoicism emphasizes rather what's in your control than what's not. Your mind is in your control, but what's outside it isn't particularly controllable. Stoics say that you should focus on what can be controlled and get through fate's uncertain events with detachment. It tells you that you suffer more in your mind than in reality. As Seneca said once, we suffer more in imagination than in reality. How many times did we all have something that happened to us that made it so unbearable in our mind? Then we realized that it was unimportant and we only overthought it. This is what it actually says, that you should think more rationally when it comes to suffering, because many times we amplify the difficulty and pain, yet it's in our mind and reality is different. Stoicism means to get through life with detachment from negativity, to focus on what you can control rather than what's uncertain, and that's your mind, and to realize that suffering is part of our lives and we need to cultivate self-control and ourselves to overcome difficult situations. There are three well-known Stoic philosophers, and these are Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus. Marcus Aurelius wrote his great work called Meditations. Quote, "To what purposes am I now using my animal powers? This should be a matter of frequent self-examination, as also, what are the views and purposes of that governing part, as we call it? What sort of soul have I? Of what character? Is it that of a trifling child, of a passionate youth, of a timorous woman, of a tyrant, of a tame beast, or a savage one?" End quote. Epictetus was born into slavery, yet he followed a Stoic guidance in life. The Handbook of Epictetus is a short but great work that can be taken anywhere, as it's a handbook. Here are some of his thoughts. "Seek not that the things which happen should happen as you wish, but wish the things which happen to be as they are, and you will have a tranquil flow of life." Seneca has Letters from a Stoic, a series of letters which urge us to reflect upon them. Quote, "He is a slave. His soul, however, may be that of a free man. He is a slave. But shall that stand in his way? Show me a man who is not a slave. One is slave to lust, another to greed, another to ambition, and all men are slaves to fear." It's a good philosophy in times when we all are stressed and preoccupied with work, which may make us forget that we need to grow as people and that we're humans with desires and goals. Neglecting personal growth may be neglecting our lives, and that's what will make our society even more full of stress. Depression rates are higher and higher, and we become victims of addictions and resort to drugs that numb our tiredness and pain. Here are three ways to practice Stoicism. Know the founding ideas that make it as it is and get your own ideas from that. Read the Stoic philosophers and their ideas. Put it into practice, as this is what makes it a practical philosophy. Put everything into practice, reflect upon life and ideas, then realize what's good and what's vicious for you. Here are some tips that will help you with mindful Stoicism. Start meditating and journaling. Practice gratitude. Contemplate the nature. Have mindful walks. Become more present. Read Stoicism often. Do not lose track of it. Here's what you've learned in this video. Stoicism preaches not to worry about what you can't control. Marcus Aurelius, Epictetus, and Seneca are the most known Stoic philosophers. To learn Stoicism is to practice it. To practice it is to learn it. Read and be practical. It's good for nowadays stressed society and it has much potential. Take care and be mindful.